Welcome back to the channel. This is Wasabi. It's a battle on the Karelia map. We're on a mission to do the heavy tank mission to complete the heavy tank missions on the T28 HTC, the second of the two personal campaign missions. Part of that, we need to do 6,000 total damage, including damage done, damage received, and damage assisted. And also includes damage bounced. To do the honours, we need to win the battle and basically survive. So you can basically, I'm trying to do this in the lowest tier possible, and the lowest tier possible for the T28 HTC missions is tier 5. So we're in a tier 5 Soviet heavy tank, the premium KV-220-2. Now, one of the reasons for choosing this tank is partly due to the armour for blocking, and also got a good pool of hit points, 900, which basically can add to your total. So as long as we don't die, we can lose a bit of health, and that helps contribute to the total. So team have spotted the T34 on the other side as he's going up the hill, and we managed to tax him for 400 hit points, which are all good. Now, one of the things I normally do at the start of the mission is just look at the composition of the team. So you can see on the enemy team, they've got 5 human players, but they're all in medium tanks or light tanks. So although the traditional thing is to go heavy tank down the east side of the map, we're heading for the north, mainly to basically see if we can get individual fights and not have to share damage. So a bit selfish, but that's part of the mission that you're doing. Now, our side, I've judged capable of holding that east side by themselves, so even if I'm going here by myself, it won't cause too much of a problem with the team. So there's a French SARL 42 there, not having much luck penning him. I think it's just due to the angles, but we'll come back to that tank later on. Also spotted the DW2, and round comes in that misses us, but probably being shot off the hill. Now, both those other players were bots, but here we come up against another human player, T28. He's a tier 4 though, so not very heavily gunned. It's not the F30 variant, so we're just basically going to try and punish him as he's by himself, and he's likely to bounce most of his shots off us, particularly from the front. That's one of the reasons we're keeping moving, so that he doesn't really get a chance to focus. So we're just letting the track repair by itself rather than using the repair kit. Keep the repair kit for when I need it. Now he's going around the top and he's much more mobile, so I'm not going to chase him over the top, but we're basically going to expect him to come right around, which he does, and perhaps he wasn't expecting us to be facing him. So although he does get one damaging shot in, we managed to finish him off. Now, I'm glad that he actually did manage to do some damage there, more from his benefit than mine. We don't want players to think they can't penetrate any tank, particularly if they get on the side, so it's helpful if they get that experience. Anyway, pushing on, and I gotta say, I wasn't even contemplating completing this mission in this game. Wasn't paying much attention, as I've gotten, at the average about 4,000 of the total damage required in quite a few matches, so wasn't really expecting it. Anyway, we spot that SARL again, and just from our previous experience, we just loaded premium just for convenience to finish him off. And then we spot the DW2 there and keep the premium running. They do have slightly harder armor, and these tanks also sometimes known for firing heat rounds. He's not at the moment, which is good, but he's still bouncing off us. We'll try and ram him, and we managed to ammo rack him. Now these are bot tanks, of course, you can tell by the names having the colons there, but we'll just again try and ram this SARL. And then we spot the M8A1 there. We know he's slightly armoured, and so we'll just switch back to normal and try and take some damage out of him. Now we're up to 2,000 damage, but that's not unusual for this tank in these sort of circumstances. So still, again, wasn't thinking that we're going to get too close. You never know, the rest of the team could clean up all the other tanks and you don't get the opportunity to take the damage. So this is a bit of a gamble, but that's one of the reasons for coming on this side of the map, to try and get most of the damage to my own. and as you need it basically to complete these sort of missions. So got the B1 here, also a good tank to come up against in terms of doing damage. That's got 700 odd hit points, so this helps to try and cut one of these down to yourself because of the amount of hit points you can do. Probably shouldn't be using auto aim here, but just being a bit lazy more because we're trying to keep on the move, and so we'll just leave that on just for convenience. And we got one more shot I think into him, and then we take him out. So that's making progress. We are 2 tanks up, but also a substantial amount of hit points up. The enemy tanks are still on the hill from what we can tell. It's Panzer 4H, and there was a Leopard down there, but we're getting lit here. Now we're not rushing over the hill, partly because we don't want to get basically shot while we're crossing from this side, and so we spot the Wolverine up there and managed to put some shots into him, and we also noticed the Leopard up there, and we nearly finished that Wolverine off, but he's backed away out of cover, and the Leopard firing from a distance not going to be very successful. It's got a low caliber gun, really needs to be up close to do any damage. So he managed to track us, and again we'll just let the tracking work, track repair I mean, from this crew to repair it. And again, wasn't actually noticing at this point, but we're up to 4,500 or nearly 4,600 of our 6,000 required, so we're getting close, but yeah, we'll explain it further on as we go. But nonetheless, we're on 3,200 damage done, which is a good total for this tank and above my average, quite a lot, but that's taking advantage of these conditions where we're basically getting access to the enemy tanks pretty much by ourselves. So the Leopard's basically shot his clip and he's now reloading, so I don't have much worry about him. So we'll just, but he does manage to do some more shots on us, but that we blocked. And again, it wasn't paying attention. So at this point, we're just seeing the Panzer 4H there, and we did notice the M8A1 down there, always ready to take more damage. So we'll focus the M8A1 as he's basically out in the open. And although this gun has got relatively high dispersion, got good crew skills, and so we should get some shots in. And he goes up in smoke, but got one more tank to go, which is that Panzer 4H. Not a lot of hit points left, but nonetheless I wouldn't mind getting the kill because we're on 7 kills, and I'm thinking, yeah, we might get a Radley Walters if we get this one. So here we find him, put the killing shot in, and that's that. So I was very surprised to see the following screen. So I was absolutely flabbergasted when this came up. Really wasn't expecting it. So apart from doing the total of 6,000 blocked, received and damage caused, as mentioned before, one minor correction, you have to do 20% of the total hit points of the enemy team as your damage total, which is equivalent to what you do in high caliber. This award came up as well, which I hadn't seen before, but no big deal. We got the Ace Tanker badge, Radley Walters for the 8 kills, which is the highest in that particular tank I've done. The Top Gun, of course, the steel wall and high caliber, and I think cool headed for bouncing a certain number of shots. 4,102 experience without the daily double, and 25 bonds from the premium missions. We did 3942 damage, which would have been nice to get 4K, but not complaining. 1953 base experience, which is the highest I've done so far in any tank, and would have been again nice to get 2K, but again, yeah, not complaining. We fired 56 shots, 44 connected, 36 penetrated, and we got 1645 damage blocked. So that together with the damage dealt, the rest of it, because there was hardly any assisted damage, would have been from damage under my tank. So thanks for watching.